The 12-2 Detroit Lions, coming off of their loss to the Bills last week, traveling to Chicago to take on the 4-10 Bears. So this was a game we saw on Thanksgiving, and we saw the Lions win. It was a lot closer than we thought it would be. The Bears kind of lost the game by failing to manage the clock. They were in field goal range. I believe they could tie it up or try to score, but they had like 15 seconds after a play ended, and they could have called a timeout, but they kind of ran up like they were going to spike it, and they looked like they were going to run a play, and then Caleb Williams threw it deep, and it was incomplete, and that was the game. So it was a pretty wild first showing, and the Lions have been seeming to regress a little bit. So a lot of people are saying upset. Also considering, look at the Vegas line. I feel like this would have been a lot different before. It's Detroit minus 6.5 and over 48. So that over under is a little high. I think they're expecting a bit more of a catch up from the Bears, and then the Lions have to score more points to keep them away instead of relying on their defense. And there's some injuries that have been suffered by both teams. For the Lions, they lost David Montgomery for the year. That's a huge loss. Their power running back. They still do have Gibbs, and I think Craig Reynolds is going to get in there, but that's a huge loss for them. And then linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maybin with a neck. Questionable for them is Graham Glasgow, excuse me. Safety Brian Branch with a calf, and then Ifeatu Melifonwu with a hand is questionable. For the Bears, their left guard Ryan Bates is out with a concussion. Doubtful for them is running back Travis Homer, not their starter. Questionable left guard Tevin Jenkins. They moved him to guard. I suppose left tackle Braxton Jones. Oh my God. Defensive tackle Jervon Dexter with a knee is questionable, and then cornerback Jalen Johnson with an illness. Oh man, this Bears team is very beat up, and that is a good main reason why I am taking the Lions. 28-21. That would be Detroit covering minus 6.5 and over 48. Chicago is talented at spots like wide receiver, quarterback, right? Their defense has good players, but they might be missing a lot due to injury. And also, I think once again, you're going to see the same thing as I said last time. I basically boiled it down to is, I think both teams have talent, right? And in the end of the day, I think it's just coaching that's going to win the Lions that game. And what do you know? That's what happened. So I think in this, you might see something very similar. But you know what? I think the Bears are going to come different this time. They fired their head coach. They know they're eliminated from the playoffs. After this, is anyone really going to care what they do? Even if they win a couple games, they want to see how you play against playoff teams. So don't be surprised if they go into this game and play their best game of the year. I'm still going with the Lions, but don't be surprised if the Bears do end up covering because they're going to want to prove something in this game. So, as I stated, I'm taking the Lions to win 28-21. I would say I'm more confident in the over.